How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
His name is Osimo. Honda has unveiled its new human-like robot that the team says is designed to run a non-competitive half marathon and then smugly brag about it afterwards. Project leader Kenji Saito calls the robot very aggravating, adding, quote, "We knew how to create a robot that could run great distances at high speeds. The challenge was to build a bot that would be impressed with its own minor achievement. The robot even believes it could run a full marathon if it wanted to, but it's just doing this to stay in shape and have some fun."
If I wanted to, I probably could have played college football.
Aiming to make the android as realistically human as possible, scientists installed sensors to register derisive comments and eye rolls from annoyed coworkers as genuine interest in its self-centered blathering. The team noted that the irritating robot could be useful in medical fields as well. Already, Osimo has pestered scientists into sponsoring it to run a 5K in Cape Cod this summer. To date, it's raised over $700 for leukemia research.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
That's right. It is Free Talk Live. And it's Mark with you.
And nobody.
And you should feel welcome to call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. And you can also use the Discord lines. You have to go through a little process, but once you do, you sound a lot better, and you only have to do it once. So it's discord.freetalklive.com. That's discord.freetalklive.com. Nobody? Pope Nobody? I prefer Pope Nobody.
Okay.
I have a complaint about your name. Names are supposed to be a disambiguation as opposed to creating more ambiguity. So I'm going to stick with Pope Nobody because then I know exactly who I'm talking about.
I subvert nomenclature.
Apparently, in Illinois, they have come up with the grand idea of creating what we called confinement cells in prison. You know, the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Segregation.
Yeah.
So they decided this would be a good idea for kids.
12 solid days in segregation, and it is a kind of surreal experience. I prefer DMT by a long shot.
Yeah, not much fun, and oftentimes they will only give you, say, a religious book to read.
True. Yeah. Which is one of the reasons I became a pope, because it occurred to me that as a church, I'd be able to put in copies of Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead and have my members able to say, oh, well, I want a religious book. Bring me Atlas Shrugged.
Something.
Or
yes.
Man, Economy, and State.
So here from ProPublica, the spaces have gentle names: the reflection room, the cool down room, the calming room, the quiet room. But shut inside them in public schools across the state of Illinois, children as young as 5 wail for their parents, scream in anger, and beg to be let out. I'd like to just remind everybody why confinement exists. Now, you know, custody, care, and control, this is all part of the prison system. But it came from Quakers in the late 19th century attempting to come up with something that was more humane than the old dungeon system that sort of was used up to that point.
And failed abysmally.
They really did. I mean, spectacularly. The idea, well, Quakers, they're about sitting in silence and listening to God. So they thought, I wonder if we just locked people in rooms and demanded absolute silence from them, whether they would get better. The answer, no. No. What it did is drive them insane in many cases. that was abandoned, but modified, not just by the Quakers. At that point, everybody liked it. Oh, this is great. Let's lock people in little rooms. Not that much different than a dungeon, but the whole quietness, introspection aspect, that's the Quaker thing. So
I never noticed a lot of quietness or introspection. I remember a lot of people screaming, a lot of people fighting,
It's, I mean, look, when you're dealing with prisoners, you're dealing with people who are presumably not doing very well in society, so you need some kind of system to deal with it. I get it. Mm-hmm. I think that if we got rid of the drug war, we'd probably have about 20% of the people in prison that we do today. But
I would tend to agree, both because, there's the people who are in there directly because of the drug war, and then you have the people who are in there because the drug war made them poor, or because the drug war deprived them of a father.
A whole variety of things. Yeah, that it would take a little time to reach that 80% number, but it's some conjecture. Give me a decade and in the drug war. Now, I'm not saying there won't be some ramifications societally, but we're talking about prison here.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Going on with this about school, or, as I like to call it, middle-class welfare babysitting day prison.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because it's middle-class welfare, because the middle-class people have not yet figured out, middle-class people like me, most of whom have not figured out.
The bourgeoisie?
I guess that's what we are. I don't know.
Only in French.
Have not figured out that it is a terrible effing idea to turn your kids over to the government. I mean, a terrible idea.
Well, yeah, if you send your children to Caesar to be educated, don't be surprised when they return as Romans.
Indeed. And they do, over and over again. Now, I get that we're all robbed in the form of property tax to pay for these things. But, 85% of the kids in the country go to government school.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, there you have. The government school has had the kids for more than 100 years now. Anything that we've got in America, you can blame on that.
Yeah. If you've got an issue with the millennials or the Zoomers, guess who raised them? The government.
They had them for 13 years. Half of the time they were
most
awake.
of them went to college, too, even though there weren't enough post-college jobs for most of them. Yeah. And that's the doing of the school system, too.
So Illinois has this great idea of locking kids in quiet rooms. I'm going to go on with a story from ProPublica. The students, most of them with disabilities, scratch the windows or tear at the padded walls. They throw their bodies against locked doors. They wet their pants. Some children spend hours inside these rooms, missing class time. Now, for a kid, these hours, I remember giving timeouts to my son. He hasn't had one in years, but the rule was that I had heard is 1 minute of timeout for the age of the child. So I think he was 6 the last time he got one. And the reason he got it is because he was showing off his new bicycle to the men who were laying metal roofing on top of a shed we have. So if the metal roofing lets go, it cleaves them in half like a guillotine, right? He had been warned 2 times to get out of there, and he really wanted to show off this bicycle, and he felt like that was the best position to do it, right there in the cleaving zone. And so, off we had to go for a little timeout to, think about what was going on. But, and punishments, they're relatively easy when you've got a kid who's normal, not all so easy when the kid has disabilities. These autistic kids can be very difficult to deal with. Mm-hmm. However, this is probably a bad idea. It certainly doesn't play well in the press, as you will soon see, because I'm going to go ahead and finish this story.
And I would have to say that a lot of these kids in these schools, they're not going to grow up and get jobs. That's not going to happen. Now, there are autistic kids who will grow up and get jobs. Don't get me wrong. It's a long spectrum, but a lot of them are not going to grow up and get jobs. And in that case, corralling them into these schools is just cruel.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not a system that works.
No.
I mean, I get that there's some mandate for the public schools to take every kid. That's a problem. But another point we ought to look at is that public school students, I don't say graduates because they don't all make it, but public school students are far overrepresented in the prison system in the United States, meaning that if you send your kid to a private school, or if you homeschool your kid, or boarding school, or whatever the other options are, your kid is much less likely to end up in prison. So we could, I mean, this is just a correlation, not a causation situation, but we could presume that government school is not very good. With this data, we can presume that the government school is not very good at keeping kids out of prison.
Well, for the kids who do end up in prison, at least it prepared them for their future.
Right. Now Illinois is going one step further and showing them what confinement cells are like. They're missing class time, and through it all, adults stay outside the door, writing down everything that happens. So they're in these little padded cells, and people are peering in at them.
What's the suicide rate for these adults? That's what I want to know. How many of them can't take it?
855-450-3733.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Researchers have definitively concluded that all of it, is some kind of sick joke. The Princeton study suggests that the entirety of existence, including time, marriage, migratory patterns of birds, continental drift, life itself, photosynthesis, human society, and the changing of the seasons, are all part of a massive, twisted ruse orchestrated by a spiteful cosmos.
Look at you morons, taking a stupid video for your pointless newspaper. Everything's a joke. I'm a joke, you're a joke, the whole universe is a joke.
We at the Onion Week in Review are compelled to inform viewers that while this entire segment is indeed one small part of the giant perverse joke, the upshot is that the next minute of your life will be no more or less pointless than if you were to spend it with a loved one, mentoring an at-risk youth, or simply wallowing in your own feculence. In other news, Harley Davidson and Jack Daniels collaborate on a local felony. A churchgoer blanks on why she's lighting a votive candle. And please ring the bell and the boy will come round momentarily for your bags. For more news, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means, stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Now, we're reading the story from ProPublica about Illinois' public school system locking up kids in quiet rooms or confinement cells, padded cells.
Nobody thinks that's a good idea.
It certainly doesn't play well on the air. I get the frustration that many of these staff members must feel dealing with these kids that they can't do anything else with. However, this is a bad idea.
I mean, what I can't imagine is, I can imagine being a parent and saying, oh, okay, well, I'm going to send my kids to public school because that's just what people have done, what people do, and I've never thought about it. But what I can't imagine is having my child come back from school and say, they locked me in a room for 5 hours by myself and I wet myself, and saying, well, you'll have a better day there tomorrow. My response would be, you won't be there tomorrow.
I don't even know. I mean, these parents must feel locked in a situation where they don't have any other way.
Well, that should give them a little bit of empathy.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed it should. If this story confuses you like it does me, perhaps liberty.menu is the place to go for you. Libertarians have wanted for a long time a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and liberty.menu is that. It's also kind of a little bit of a social networking site. So it's a tool for your community. Go check it out. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a social networking aspect, as I said before, where you can connect with others. Use of liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If you don't know what the non-aggression principle is, it is an agreement that you make, a principle that you abide by that says that you will not initiate force or threats against other people. It's really simple and sounds great. Sadly, our world does not abide by it. So you can go to liberty.menu if you want. You could use coupon code FTL when you sign up. You get a special badge there for our listeners. It's a liberty.menu. Going on with the story from ProPublica, in Illinois, it's legal for school employees to seclude students in a separate space, to put them in isolated timeout if the students pose a safety threat to themselves or others. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Until you realize there are no mental health professionals administering this. And every time that we give mental health professionals unfettered use of a particular treatment, they tend to abuse it at first. And I believe that's what's going on here. If the students pose a safety threat to themselves or others, yet every school day, workers isolate children for reasons that violate the law. An investigation by the Chicago Tribune and ProPublica, Illinois, has found children were sent to isolation after refusing to do classwork, swearing, spilling milk, throwing Legos. I don't think any of these things that have been mentioned here have sprung up in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, Legos can be deadly, though. You ever step on one of those?
Right. They should be treated as something, that one needs to be careful with. But, there were toys in my kindergarten class at private school, and I'm sure some of them were thrown. I know there was milk spilled. I know there was swearing at my schools, and lots of kids refused to do classwork. Mm-hmm. Teachers did not need to resort to rubber rooms to deal with that. School employees use isolated timeout for convenience, out of frustration, or as punishment, sometimes referring to it as serving time. Now, serving time is about punishment. It's not about a kid who is a danger to themselves or others at that moment. Mm-hmm. For this investigation, ProPublica Illinois and the Tribune obtained and analyzed thousands of detailed records that state law requires schools to create whenever they use seclusion. The resulting database documents more than 20,000 incidents from the 2017-2018 school year through, that's December of 2018. So
20,000. So this is hundreds of times a day this happens.
Yes.
Just in Illinois.
Right. And presumably, that's not even covering the entire state. Guessing.
Right.
Because there's not even that many schools that actually have these rubber rooms.
Mm-hmm.
For those, about 12,000 included enough detail to determine what prompted the timeout. So, in 8,000 of the cases, 40% of them, they didn't bother to give enough information in this legally required documentation to tell you why the kid was even in there. In more than a third of these incidents, that's a third of the 12,000, so 4,000, school workers documented no safety reason for the seclusion. So they didn't even bother telling a lie.
Uh-huh. And that's the thing. Reviewing this paperwork is only going to reveal misdeeds by teachers who don't have the wit to lie when they break the law.
That's exactly right, because all you had to do is say the
and
kid,
I don't want that kid teaching my kid, or that teacher teaching my kid, because I want my kid's teacher to know when you break the law, you lie. That's how you do it. I want them keeping my kid out of prison.
That's the rule, right? The criminal defense attorneys will tell you that the first 3 rules of criminal defense is deny, deny, deny. So I
never heard that.
This is the problem with this rubber room situation is that all they have to do is say, well, Johnny was pinching himself really hard, and there you have the self-harm, no problem.
Right.
State education officials are unaware of these repeated violations because they do not monitor the school's use of the practice. Parents, meanwhile, often are told little about what happens to their children.
Mm-hmm.
The Tribune ProPublica Illinois investigation, which also included more than 120 interviews with parents, children, and school officials, so 120, not a lot, but when you're doing a newspaper story, that's a lot of interviews compared to, say, the 20,000 incidents. And they provide the first in-depth examination of this practice in Illinois. Because school employees observing the students often keep a moment-by-moment log, the records examined by reporters offer a rare view of what happens to children inside these rooms, often in their own words. And, maybe you don't live in Illinois. The likelihood is you don't.
I'm almost certain I don't.
Most Americans don't live in Illinois.
And
Most
I
people
don't
on the
blame
planet
them a bit.
Don't live in Illinois. But if they're using these padded cells in Illinois schools, then this is just a testing ground to see whether or not they go out farther and farther. Could come to your community next.
How long have these things been in use?
We'll examine that. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Illinois is locking kids as young as 5 years old in padded cells. And it doesn't look good. Rich, you asked just before the break how long this has been going on, and I, having read the story through previously, it didn't stick out in my mind, and the reason is this has been going on for some time.
Wow.
There's more than a decade. About a decade ago, Illinois was named the #1 state in the United States for this practice, and a few states have it banned, but it's going on around the United States at different levels. I'm not sure that every school has, I doubt very seriously every school has a padded room, but seclusion in a locked room, it's something that they can do. Want to tell you about Edge Wallet. We've been into cryptocurrency here on Free Talk Live for a long time. This was likely, and I have yet to be disproven on this, the first mention in mass media of Bitcoin, and right here on Free Talk Live in 2010. And I have gone through a lot of cryptocurrency wallets in that amount of time. So a wallet is an application that you get on your phone or your computer that allows you to hold cryptocurrency. The very best is Edge Wallet. Confident with it, very responsive. They're so awesome. And they're available for, of course, your Apple phone or your Android phone. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies. Your cryptocurrency really never has to leave your Edge wallet. It's user-controlled. You possess your own money. And that's really important. You do not want what they call a custodial wallet. It has support for BTC, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, all kinds of Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many, many more currencies that I'm not going to mention here. We got a veteran team building since 2014, and like I said, very responsive. You can secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Go to edge.app. It's edge.app. Simple. I love it. Love mine. Going on with the story here from ProPublica, without doubt, many of the children being secluded are challenging. Records show school employees struggling to deal with disruptive, even violent behavior. Surely these things go on in school. Now, why they go on in school, it kind of baffles me. I went to a private school, and if you were always disruptive and violent, they'd simply kick you out.
Well, okay, there's your first reason public school can't do that.
That's right. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
My thesis here is that public school is foundationally a problem. The way it is designed is a problem. The idea that they must take every student, and they're going to attempt to take every multi-shaped peg and pound it through their same square hole.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they have to use a rubber room or corporal punishment or just, quiet time, whatever it is that they're going to do to get the kid to behave, they're going to do it. And so you don't have this a variety of people bringing different ideas to bear on the problem to see what works best. You have the same sort of regimented organization that has this long lineage of, well, this is how we do it. And if they're a problem, we just keep promoting them on to the next grade. So pretty soon the next school has to deal with it. And going on here. Records show school employees struggling to deal with disruptive violence such as hitting, kicking, and biting. Workers say that they have to use seclusion to keep everyone in the classroom safe. Keep in mind, several states have banned this, so they don't have to use it. And the practice can help children learn how to calm themselves. And that may be true if they keep the kid in there for a short period of time, but there's a period of time after which this isn't working anymore.
Right.
And we'll read some of the stories as to what happens. But disability advocates, special education experts, and administrators in school systems that have banned seclusion argue that the practice has no therapeutic or educational value, that it can traumatize children, you think, and then that there are better alternatives. I mean, the one thing that the American prison system is really called out for is its practice of this long-term confinement cell situation that they have, these segregation cells.
One state has even ended it for death row inmates.
Wow, really?
Yeah, which every death row inmate I've ever heard of has been in solitary confinement. I think that's universal up till now. And, imagine what that would be like.
To be
you're going to sit in this room by yourself for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Often they can yell back and forth to each other, but there's, of course, the guards don't want them to. And then there's this ongoing thing of trying to send messages and, just having somebody to talk to. We are a gregarious beast. And if you're going to keep us alive, to keep us sane, we need to talk to other human beings. Yes. And that's just the way that goes. So let's see. Going on here, No federal law regulates the use of seclusion, and Congress has debated off and on for years whether that should change. Last fall, a bill was introduced that would prohibit seclusion in public schools that receive federal funding, which I presume is all of them. A U.S. House...
See, that's not the job of the federal government. Even on this, this is awful. This shouldn't be happening, but the federal government should not have the power to regulate it, because if they can make everybody go one way, they can also make everybody go the other way.
This is the problem with the Constitution and where the founders failed. I know nobody listening to me likes to hear that kind of talk, but this is a complete failure of the Constitution. And what you've done is just pointed out. The federal Constitution limits itself to the things that it talks about. It's very clear in the 10th Amendment that anything that's not mentioned in the Constitution is a right of the states or the people, respectively. And that means that if it's not mentioned, that it shouldn't be involved. However, they don't tell states that they can't have this. They tell schools that receive federal funding that if they want the funding, they must stop the practice.
Well, the federal funding is also unconstitutional. There's no constitutional authority for the federal government to fund education. That's not their job either.
Well, I don't know that that's true.
It is true. The word education doesn't exist in the Constitution.
It's true, but they're allowed to raise the thing that the fact that they were given weights and measures, and by weights and measures I mean money. It's in the Constitution. The federal government can create money. Only the states must have their money backed by gold or silver. So the federal government, therefore, can have its money backed by nothing, like it does.
Right.
And then it can distribute that money however it wishes. Up to this point, there seems to have been no particular problem in doing that. They haven't passed a law.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says they can spend it however they want, though. Quite the opposite. Article 1, Section 8 lists the things that the federal government is authorized to spend money on, and it's a list of like 17 or 21 items. It's very specific. For example, they're authorized to build post roads.
Post roads, yep.
That's specifically
that one I remember.
Roads for use of the Postal Service, not a whole interstate highway system. I'm
going to have to read that to be sure, because I figured they got around the rules by just basically withdrawing funding as opposed to passing laws. I consider all federal marijuana legislation to be completely unconstitutional and invalid.
Right.
However, I would say that this Chapter 1 funding that they're talking about here, this educational funding, might be constitutional.
It's not unconstitutional to withhold funding. They're required to withhold funding for everything for which there is no constitutional purpose. So it's paying it in the first place is unconstitutional.
855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live, or use the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You don't get from Free Talk Live what you get from other talk shows out there. Right now, across America, pretty much every talk show is either ravenously defending Donald Trump's honor that is being besmirched by those evil Democrats, or breathlessly salivating over the impending corpse of the Trumpster that they're going to have.
And both sides, interestingly enough, seem to be refusing to address what to me is the most important issue. But go on with that thought. I'll come back.
What's real quick? What's the issue?
The most important issue is, was Trump actually investigating corruption? If he was trying to do a frame job, then he was doing wrong. That's impeachable. If, on the other hand, he was looking to expose corruption that was real and was already going on, then I would say that's part of his job as the top law enforcement law enforcement officer
Sure,
in the nation. You liaise with other nations and you get their armed forces and their law enforcement officials to work with yours.
And if you like that Free Talk Live does different things and lets you control the airwaves, you can call in and talk about right now. You can call in right now at 855-450-3733 and talk about whatever it is that you think is important. And if anyone was on the line, we would be talking to them, and they are not. So it's completely open. I know a lot of people out there think, I don't want to call in. I'm going to have to wait 20 minutes. That's not true on Free Talk Live. If you like this service that we have, then you should consider amplifying the show. If you go to amp.freetalklive.com, as Mal Esclavo has, he's a gold amplifier. I presume that's a male. I don't know the name Mal. Mal, whatever your gender, we salute you.
Indeed.
It's amp.
And we won't assume.
It's amp.freetalklive.com, A-M-P, amp.freetalklive.com. So, Pope Nobody, we had spoken about the constitutionality of funding in the last segment for the Department of Education. Before we get back to the story about Illinois locking up kids in rubber rooms, I just want to talk about this. I think you are mostly right, but I'm going to read the clause that I think gives them the out. So first, Section 8, as you mentioned, Article 1, Section 8, the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States, but all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. And then they list a whole bunch of things that they're allowed to borrow, and they're very specific, to borrow to pay for. Now, presumably they could pay for them if they had some excess of money, like a fund, but the United States government has not had an excess of money since ever. Under the Jackson administration, there might be an argument that it went to zero at one point. Some people say it was down to 40,000, whatever, 40,000, negative 40,000. So at no point in the United States history has there ever really been not a debt. So they're always borrowing if they're spending. So I would say that if it's not one of these things, and the closest thing was... Okay,
where though does it say anything about what they're allowed to borrow? Because I don't remember that introductory paragraph didn't say what they were allowed to borrow. And as a matter of fact, I think the last item on the list you're about to read says they can also borrow money.
It says to borrow money on the credit of the United States. And
that's the last item.
Yes, and then it has a semicolon, and then it goes on to a whole bunch of a list of things that could be 20 things long, like you mentioned. One of them is to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for a limited times authors and inventors exclusive rights to their respective writings and discoveries. So this is patents.
So patent and copyright.
Patent and copyright. So it sounded like at first, this might be the clause. No, that's not it. Here's the final clause. To make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, so all the powers that are above there, I'm not reading them all, and then all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. So if they make a department, I guess they can just do what they want. Now we have a department so we can pay. Look, I'm not
kind of inconsistent with the purpose of the Constitution. I think both Federalists and Anti-Federalists would have said that analysis is wrong. That's
why I think this thing should be rewritten.
Well, certainly, I think rewriting it in new language would be a good idea.
Remember, to shove this thing through, they had to threaten to put a blockade on Rhode Island. There was a document in place, the Articles of Confederation. And we're told through school that these were a failure. Why were we told? Because the government that is under the Constitution pays the school. So we never get to hear about what was good about the Articles of Confederation. Right. And clearly Rhode Island was not convinced by the Federalists' writings on this because they weren't going to vote for it. And they needed a certain number of states to get this going through. So, we can blockade Rhode Island.
Yeah, the other interesting thing about the Articles of Confederation, first sentence of the Articles of Confederation says, this is an eternal compact between the states. Well, the interesting thing about that is there's no such language in the Constitution.
Right. So
there's no implication we can't dissolve that thing at will.
That's very interesting that presumably secession's acceptable from the constitutional standpoint, and B, apparently the Articles of Confederation are still in effect because it's eternal. Indeed. Let's go on to Joe calling in from Michigan. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, a minute ago you brought up Ukraine and Trump and all that, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to defend Trump. I'm not going to do it. I'm an independent. I'm just kind of watching the whole thing, but it's kind of starting to seem like, I don't think he did anything impeachable, but I will say this. I'm not crazy about us giving money to foreign countries, but if we're going to do it, there needs to be conditions, man. You can call it quid pro quo, whatever you want.
Sure.
But if you got a government that is full of a bunch of dirt bags and they're corrupt, and how much money has the UN dumped into Africa, and half of it ends up in the pockets of these dictators? And we've done the same thing for years. The United States has.
It's almost as if it's the plan.
Ron Paul's classic line is that foreign aid takes money out of the pocket of poor people in rich companies and countries and puts it in the pockets of rich people in poor countries.
Well, he's right. If we're gonna help countries out, we shouldn't be helping countries. We need to. I would say only democratic countries. We shouldn't be helping dictators and all this stuff unless they're changing or, there needs to be conditions, man. And the idea that we can just dump money into Ukraine and it ends up disappearing, and I'm sorry, Joe Biden and his kid, the only reason they're not in prison is because of Joe Biden, who he is. That whole deal stinks to high heaven, and the media, this is what people say when we got a biased media, stuff like this. They covered it up. They knew about it years ago, and these politicians, like I saw a meme that said they send our sons to Iraq or Afghanistan, and they send their sons to Ukraine or wherever for cushy jobs, and that's exactly what it is. And, it's amazing to me that they're accusing Trump. Like I say, I'm not defending the guy.
What are they accusing him of? I mean, is it the Russian memes, or is it
no.
obstruction of justice, or is it
they're accusing him?
By the end of this, I guarantee it'll be something else.
Here's
they're saying that he withheld funds.
I know.
For military money or something, unless they would go after Biden.
He offered a quid pro quo.
That's exactly what Biden did.
Yeah, well, it's what foreign policy is for. We give these countries money so that they will do what we ask them to do. There's always quid pro quo in foreign aid. There's always conditions on foreign aid.
I'd say
if you do certain things, we will stop giving you aid.
It looks like it's provable that Hunter Biden was probably involved in a one of these what do they call them?
Oil companies,
economic hitmen situations on Ukraine. And your thoughts on it are fine. I can't say I know a heck of a lot about it. Thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate it. 855-450-3733. To me, Ukraine.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,472, silver at $17.14, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,075. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, for the first time in U.S. history, a key congressional committee has approved a bill that would comprehensively put an end to the federal prohibition of marijuana. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee passed the Marijuana Opportunity, Reinvestment, and Expungement Act by a 24-10 vote, clearing the way for a full vote on the floor of the House of Representatives. GOP efforts to stall the bill with additional hearings largely failed, as two Republicans, Representatives Tom McClintock and Matt Gaetz, sided with Democrats, who argued that debate has gone on too long while the enforcement of cannabis prohibition continues to damage communities placed in the crosshairs of the failed war on drugs. The MORE Act was introduced by Chairman Jared Nadler, a Democrat from New York. It would lead to the removal of cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, ending prohibition on a national level, and allowing states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of the plant. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Prince Andrew says he's stepping away from public duties for the foreseeable future, after giving an interview to the BBC widely panned as a catastrophic mistake, as he fumbled through questions about his friendship with dead pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew says he has asked the Queen for permission to step back from public duties, and that he regrets his, quote, ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein, end quote. The Mind Unleashed reports that now that Prince Andrew is taking a step back from public duties, now that his former association with Epstein has become a major disruption to his family's work, it's becoming clear that the UK business community made clear it is no longer comfortable with the Duke of York. With the entirety of the royal family's resources at his disposal, it's surprising that Prince Andrew was not able to come up with a better excuse after one of Epstein's accusers said she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was still a minor. With federal agencies set to run out of money this week, House lawmakers on Wednesday passed a short-term funding bill that contained a nasty surprise. Activist Post reports that tucked into the end of the must-pass legislation, in a section titled Other Matters, is language reauthorizing 3 Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act authorities, currently set to expire December 15, 2019. The new expiration date would be March 15, 2020. One of the expiring authorities in question is Section 215 of the USA Patriot Act. Section 215 has become synonymous with the NSA's database of billions of telephone records, known as the Call Detail Records Program. In addition to authorizing ongoing collection of telephone records, the section's Business Records Authority allows the government to obtain a secret order from the FISA court requiring third parties to hand over any records if deemed relevant to an international terrorism, counterespionage, or foreign intelligence investigation. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
People love photography. But when we thought about photography, we realized one thing. Humans are limited to looking at photos with our eyes. That's a problem, right? So we made an app, PicSong, the first program that turns your photos into music if you want to do that for some reason. It puts the power in your hands. You get to decide why you need this. I can't tell you why you need this. It's not my job. Who is this app for? Maybe it's for students, or artists, or blind people. But can it turn your music into photos? No, it can't. Do you get to keep the original photo? No, it gets deleted. Always back up your photos before using PicSong.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Kicking off the second hour of Free Talk Live. You are welcome to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
We are reading this story. I've been reading it. You've been commenting. Rich, Pope Nobody, your choice.
You can call me Rich as well. I mean, I adopted the nobody name for political purposes, and like Ian will shush people when they call me Rich, and I'm just like, yeah, you don't have to do that. It's okay. I'm still a person. I'm not a pronoun. Nobody isn't a pronoun. I don't know what kind of word it is. Really, is it a noun? Because it's the absence of.
Let me look that up at the break. Going on with the story from ProPublica about Illinois, the state locking kids as young as 5 years old up in rubber rooms. 19 states prohibit secluding children in locked rooms. 4 of them ban any type of seclusion, but Illinois continues to rely on the practice. The last time the U.S. Department of Education calculated state-level seclusion totals in 2013 and 14 school years, Illinois ranked number 1.
Number 1 in murder, too, isn't it?
I don't know.
At least Chicago is. Chicago is what I was thinking there. But I wonder, like, are they doing this in rural Illinois, or is this something they're doing to inner city populations only? I don't think this would go over nearly as well in the rural areas.
I don't know, but I suspect I have the same suppositions that you do. Although state law requires schools to file a detailed report each time they use seclusion, no one is required to read these accounts. And as we read previously in this 20,000 times this was done in the last school year, 2017 and 2018. I think the school year and a half, by the way, ending in December 2018. Several school districts officials said that they had not reviewed seclusion reports from their schools until reporters requested them. The Illinois State Board, those people should be named. These are the district officials. So, I mean, that's right there. The schools in their district, they're not reading them. The Illinois State Board of Education does not collect any data on schools' use of isolated timeouts and has not updated guidelines since issuing them 20 years ago. Having a law that allows schools to do something that is so traumatic and dangerous to students without having some sort of meaningful oversight and monitoring is really, really troubling, says Zena, Naidich, founder and leader of Equip for Equity, a disabilities watchdog group that helped write Illinois' rules in 1999. Informed of the investigation's findings, the Illinois State Board of Education said it would issue guidance clarifying the seclusion should be used only in emergencies. Officials acknowledged they don't monitor the use of isolated timeout and said they would need legislative action to do so. Sorry, we can't look at our own reports. Somebody needs to tell us we should.
I haven't read the statute, so I can't say for sure that that's nonsense, but it sounds like nonsense because if you're requiring somebody to prepare reports, that somebody is a subordinate of somebody else
who should read the reports.
Whatever reports they're writing, their boss should be reading their reports.
Let me read a few of the quotes here from the kids. Please, someone respond to me. I'm sorry I ripped the paper. I overreacted. Please just let me out. Is anyone out there? Things written down. These are quoted by the officials. Please, please, please open the door. Please, I'll be good. Open the door and I'll be quiet. That was elementary school in December 2017.
Wow. And I'll be quiet. So clearly this kid was in there for being a risk to silence.
I'd rather die. You're torturing me. Central School, Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the phones. Toby calling in from...
that last kid was absolutely right. Go ahead.
Toby, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's going on?
All's well. What's on your mind?
So my friend brought up the USS Liberty. Have you guys heard of that at all?
Yeah, this was a ship that was fired upon by
the
Israel
Israelis
like 20-something years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, and nothing came of that. Like, how was that okay to us?
I guess. I mean, the presumption was an accident, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't an accident is the thing, though.
Like, I don't think accidents like that really happen very much.
What about the United States shooting down a passenger jet from Iran in 1989?
Were we not at war?
No. Passenger jet? I mean, you weren't at war and it was a passenger jet.
I don't think that was a mistake either.
It wasn't a mistake. The United States did apologize for it later.
But, you know, it's Israel and America, like two countries that are very, you know, close to each other. Like, not physically, but a lot of relationships between each other. And for that to happen, like, were we compensated at all?
I don't know. I didn't look into it that much. I couldn't say.
Yeah, it's that's. I mean, that's a. I think you're on to something there. I think that the relationship between the United States and Israel is very problematic for the United States, and
I agree.
I've come to that opinion even more since Epstein didn't kill himself. Because
that's true too.
You know, he was gathering blackmail material, and the smart money seems to be saying he was gathering it for Mossad.
So, certainly the accusations have been made.
Really?
That seems like the most likely group. If the Mossad wasn't using an agent to somehow lure in and get under their thumb powerful businessmen and politicians from the United States with young ladies and a jet, then I'll bet somebody starts soon because it's a really good idea.
Well, it's documented that the CIA was doing that to foreign diplomats 40 years ago. So yeah, I think the whole thing between the U.S. and Israel, everybody is so terrified to say anything about Israel.
About Israel, yeah.
Yeah. It's frightening to me, the amount of control they have. And I have absolutely no problem with Jews. It's not about Jews, it's about a foreign government, any foreign government, being able to control the United States.
Oh, I don't trust this government and controlling the United States. As far as I'm concerned,
that too.
Intelligence agencies are already gathering information off of the phones and computers of judges, politicians, and captains of industry, and they're using that information to control the behavior and the votes. They don't need to control every vote. They only need to control the votes that fund them and affect them. And so, whether it's the CIA, the NSA, the Mossad, I don't really care. These organizations scare me.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who's the head of them?
Who's the head of them?
Jews.
Ah, here we go.
See, that's not really...
I'm a Jew. I'm not in charge of any of them.
The thing is, obviously Jews run the Israeli government.
To what we're talking about.
No, it's not.
But every government, every intelligence service is run by people, and it's a whole rainbow of things. The Chinese government is no better than the Israeli government, certainly, and I'm pretty sure very few of them are Jewish. There's a lot of mafias in the world. There are Italian mafias, there are white mafias, there are black mafias, there are
It's the Jews
Jewish
killing
mafias.
the Uyghurs in China, and you know it. Thanks for the call, Toby.
You left me speechless.
Yeah, always. It's always. I mean, this is the problem with talking about anything that has to do with Israel, because at the core of it, it's the Jews. Now, come on. Somebody's religion doesn't have anything to do with this crap. Power corrupts.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com. Acapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. What we're talking about right now is this investigation into Illinois public schools and their use of padded cells for kids. And yeah, we've been talking about this since the start of the show. I think it's really important because I don't think people even know this is going on. There's documented in this report here 20,000 uses in something like a school year, maybe a bit longer than a school year in Illinois, and 4 states ban it, but that means that 46 don't.
Wait, 4 states ban it? I thought you said 19 before.
They 19 have restrictions for ban.
19 have restrictions or bans. So 4 states ban it, 15 have restrictions on it, and the other 31, they can do whatever they want?
Presumably.
Oh, good Lord. That's terrifying.
So this investigation...
And Illinois, the state we're reading about, is one of the ones that has restrictions on
They're
it,
number
presumably.
one.
but they also have restrictions. They're not one of the 31 knock-yourself-out states. Or throw the kids in the room and let them throw themselves at the door till they knock themselves out states.
I don't even know what's going on in the other states. Based on records from more than 100 districts in Illinois, they found seclusion was used in schools across every part of the state and by a range of employees. Yeah, you're going to love this, Rich. Teachers, aides, social workers, and security personnel. Did you hear, social worker might qualify as a mental health professional, but the rest of them don't. And to lock somebody in a seclusion cell, I kind of feel like that ought to be something. They don't seem to have any training surrounding this at all. Some districts declined to provide records or gave incomplete information. Others wouldn't answer even basic questions, saying the law did not require them to do so. Of more than 20 districts reporters asked to visit, only 3 said yes. And they've got an example here. Is this something we're ashamed of? It's not our finest. Christian Schrader, the director of the Black Hawk Area Special Education District in East Moline, which documented about 850 seclusions in the time period examined. So it was about a year and a half. They examined 850 seclusions occurred in that time frame.
So that's at least 3 every school day, probably
one
more
district.
than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Schrader said she thinks her staff generally uses seclusion appropriately. Of course, she's not required to read the reports. Acknowledged room for improvement and met with reporters at the district's administration building, but wouldn't let them see the seclusion rooms in the schools across the parking lot. Nobody wants to talk about those things because it doesn't reflect well, she said. So there you go.
Wow. And she's actually saying this while she's refusing to show them. So,
it doesn't sound like she's a fan.
No, but yet, so then she should be showing those things off. She should have a media open house for those freaking things if she doesn't like them. Because, if people don't know what's there, they're not going to do anything about it.
About 20 minutes after he was put in one of the school's quiet rooms, and that sounds like too long to me. I wouldn't put a kid in timeout, and that's just having them sit there. I wouldn't put them in.
By your rule, they'd have to be 20 before that was appropriate.
Right. There's a lot of 20-year-olds I'd like to see in 20-minute timeout. After he was put in one of the school's quiet rooms, a 5-foot square space made of plywood and cinder block. How big is 5-foot square?
It's a lot smaller than my cell was.
5-foot square is, it's, 2 feet by 3 feet is 6 feet square. So this is enough for an adult to sit down but not lay down. I don't think a kid might be able to sort of lay in a fetal position maybe in 5 square feet, but I doubt that it's designed for that. 9-year-old Jay Skill, he wet his pants. That's after 20 minutes. An aide, watching from the doorway, wrote that down in a log, noting that it was 10:53 a.m. on February the 1st, 2018. School aides had already taken away Jace's shoes and both of his shirts. Jace then stripped off his wet pants, wiped them in the urine on the floor, I presume trying to clean it up, I don't know, and sat down in the corner. How could he not sit down in the corner? This thing's so small.
Yeah.
I'm naked, Jace yelled at 10:56. So that was 3 minutes later. Staff did not respond, the log shows, except to close the door for privacy. By 11 a.m., Jace had also defecated and was smearing it on the walls. No adults intervened, according to the log. They watched and took notes. Dancing in feces, doing the twist, staff wrote at 11:14 a.m., noting that the boy then started pacing back and forth. I don't know how far he would pace in 5 square feet.
Well, it would be the square root of 5. So that would be, it's 2 and change.
Maybe it's only 1 foot wide.
But no, it's not 5
long.
square feet. I think if a 5 by 5 cell would be 25 square feet.
No, it's saying 5 square feet is what the article says.
5 square feet?
I know.
That's, oh my God. That would, for an adult, that would be a standing room only.
Yes.
I mean, the square root of 2, that's 2.5 feet. A fat person wouldn't be able to physically fit in 5 square feet.
It's just cobbled together out of concrete and plywood. So, it works for kids.
Oh my God, this is child abuse. This is brutal.
It's hard to call it anything else.
Any parent would be put in jail for doing this to their child.
I think that's a really great point.
And should be. And I don't believe in jail. But oh my God, to do this to a child and leave them and take notes on what they're doing without helping them is just, if these people taking these notes are not psychopaths, they have to be killing themselves.
I need more clothes, he called out. We know, the aide answered. Jace banged on the walls and tried to pry open the door. He sat against the wall, crying for his mom. At 11:42, this is almost an hour now. Let me out of here. I'm crying alone. The incident began that morning when Jace ripped up a math worksheet and went into the hallway trying to leave the school. Jace was diagnosed with autism when he was 3 and began having epileptic seizures at 5. In the first grade, officials at his local school referred him to the Kansas Treatment and Learning Center, a public school in the East Central Illinois for children with emotional and behavioral disabilities. Jace's mother, Kayleen Bevan, had heard about the quiet rooms at Kansas, I think it's Kansas, Illinois, and had strong reservations about the concept even before she took a school tour and stepped inside one. She recalls being told that he would never be shut inside alone. You want them shut in something this small with people? I remember standing there and thinking, I
think this must be a mistake. It has to be 5 foot square and not 5 square feet. I hope.
I'll read it again. Maybe I misinterpreted. 5 foot square. It's a 5 foot square space.
Okay,
So is that 5 feet on
that's
each
going to
side?
be a square 5 feet on an edge for 25 square feet.
Well, that suddenly makes a bit more sense then. At the very
Yes.
least, it's a closet. 855-450-3733.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore. DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Reading this story from Illinois about these seclusion rooms they're using on children as young as 5. And, I mean, the story just gets more and more heartbreaking as we read through. I mean, I'm stunned buy it. My name's Mark.
And I'm nobody.
And I want to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com, longtime sponsor of Free Talk Live. As I said previously, we were the first media that I know of to mention Bitcoin back in 2010. Didn't have a lot of parlance at that time, but boy, did it change. Now, if you want cryptocurrency news and you need to find out how to use this cryptocurrency stuff, Bitcoin.com should be your first stop. They make it possible for you to watch a short video that sort of tells you what Bitcoin is. They allow you to download. They've got a wallet right there that you can use. They will give you a little bit of free Bitcoin Cash to get started, and they have all the news. They have a staff of news writers, as opposed to many of these crypto news organizations, which just swipe stories from other locations and reprint them. Bitcoin.com. I love it, and I appreciate their YouTube channel, which I watch every week too. Just go to Bitcoin.com. They've got a new trading platform called local.bitcoin.com that allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash with people around the world without having to do a whole bunch of know your customer rules or interfaces or anything like that. It's great. That's local.bitcoin.com. So this story from ProPublica here was telling about a young man who had quite a time and ended up in one of these quiet rooms, they call it. Really, it's just a rubber cell. In this case, it wasn't even that. It was just plywood and cinder block. It didn't even have padding on the wall. Kid came unglued.
I'm trying to think how many of these school shooters came from Illinois. I know Aurora, Illinois was a...
No, that was Aurora, Colorado.
Oh, yeah, it was. That's right. That's right.
Yep. It said, I don't know what it's like, and I don't know, I didn't know they wrote all this down, the mother said. None of it should have happened. In the nearly 50,000 pages of reports reporters reviewed about Illinois students in seclusion, school workers often kept watch over children who were clearly in distress. They dutifully documented kids urinating, spitting in fear or anger, and then being ordered to wipe the walls and clean and mop the floors. Kansas TLC is operated by the Eastern Illinois Area Special Education District, which serves students from 8 counties and is based in Charleston, Illinois. It has about 70 regional special education districts that teach students who can't be accommodated in their home districts. And, there's got some stories here from people who were talking about having been there when they're a little older. One guy says that it irritates people. You're isolated from everybody else and you can't talk to anybody else. And the Eastern Illinois District's executive director, Tony Reilly, said he had not grasped how often seclusion was being used in his schools until he read some of the documents requested by reporters. Looking at a stack of 8,000 pages at one time really kind of hit home, Reilly said when he met with reporters on the spring. He had not responded to recent requests for comment, including about specific incidents, probably because he's been told to shut up. Reilly, an assistant...
Or he just didn't know. It sounds like he wasn't paying any attention to what was going on in his schools.
That's the other possibility. Reilly and his assistant director, Jeremy Daughtry, said they were surprised and concerned about how frequently staff used seclusion after students were disobedient but not physically aggressive. And Illinois law is very clear that it's supposed to be for a kid that's a danger to himself or others, immediate danger to himself or others.
Yeah, but of course, these days, if you express a political opinion somebody doesn't like,
that's threatening.
They're terrified. They're threatened. It makes the space unsafe that you disagree with them. So I think they need to maybe make that language a little more specific.
When we read it, it reads punitive, Daughtry said. We have to do something to address this, Reilly said. In October 2018, the kid here, he died at home in rural Paris of a seizure in his sleep. He had not returned to Kansas TLC that fall. His family had decided to homeschool him, in part to keep him out of these quiet rooms. In the family's living room, Jace's mom shared photos of him in a Wiggles concert. Oh, the Wiggles. Gosh, I'd forgotten all about those. My son's
I never knew about the Wiggles.
The Wiggles is like the Monkees for youngsters, even younger than the Monkees were, right? The Monkees were sort of aimed at teens and tweens. If you recall this, they were kind of like
I watched
with a
the
television
Monkees
show.
when I was a kid.
But the Wiggles are aimed at a younger audience, and they play sort of younger kids' songs.
Okay, so like, if you cut Barney into several pieces.
Yes.
Okay.
Not quite as bizarre as the Barney stuff, but yeah. I liked Barney too. I never had a problem with it, but some people, thought it was weird. Anyway, it says that he loved his dad, he loved me, and he loved his Grammy. So he had issues, but they weren't his fault. He couldn't control it. I get that it's probably very difficult to deal with these students, and that they there's a challenge, but I think that this is a really bad idea. One of these situations is that the educator will tell a kid that they have to take a head down, and so a head down means you have to put your head on the desk and be quiet for a period of time, probably a minute or so. But if the kid won't do it, they send them off to the quiet room until they will put their head down. And, all hell breaks loose in these quiet rooms. They're anything but.
Yeah.
And it's, at some point or another, we have to determine that this system of punitive use of these quiet rooms isn't working. The kid's out of the classroom, and whereas we got to do things with them. When I was a kid, they took you out of the classroom and somebody talked to you. Maybe it was the assistant principal. Maybe it was the principal. Maybe it was the teacher who told the rest of the class to, zip it for a minute while she or he went out and talked to the student. But, part of the problem here is that teachers are forced to have these kids in their classrooms. And these special education situations can make it that much more difficult. Parents oftentimes need a break. But, we're just not prepared. This isn't working. I don't know what to say to make it all work. I'm blessed. My son doesn't have these particular problems, thank goodness. But whatever's going on in Illinois, they need to address it. And doubling down isn't working. They've been doubling down for 2 decades on these isolation cells for kids.
Yeah. And that's always the government solution, is double down on the brutality. Everything we've done for the drug war so far has failed. Oh, well, let's ramp up let's ramp up penalties. Let's do the same thing but do it more.
And what it illustrates here is that the state, and by that I don't mean just the state of Illinois. I mean any organization that claims a monopoly privilege over the use of violence in a given landmass. The state really doesn't know what to do except to put you in prison or kill you.
Right.
Like, those are its solutions to problem child, as it were. Okay, well, you're not behaving yourself. Here's a fine or some probation. Oh, well, you're not behaving yourself on that? Well, then here's some jail. Well, you're not behaving yourself on that? Well, here's some prison. Well, you're not behaving yourself on that? Here's some death. And that's how it goes over and over again. That's all they've got is imprisonment, and if you don't comply, ultimately death. Because, as well as I do, ladies and gentlemen, you don't pull over for that cop with the flashing lights. They're going to stop your car, and it could be with deadly force.
Yeah.
The death penalty is just for disobedience. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
How would you like to hit the range tomorrow with a brand new gun? Because the United States Concealed Carry Association wants to give you a free gun right now. That's right, completely free. The USCCA is here to give every responsibly armed American the education, training, legal, and financial protection they need. And today, they're giving you not 1, but 4 free chances to win $1,000. Simply text GCN to 87222 to get entered now, and you'll get 4 free chances to win $1,000 for any gun you want. Text GCN to 87222 and get entered today. But remember, these free guns won't be around forever, and you can't win if you don't enter. So don't miss out. Just text GCN to 87222 and get your 4 free chances to win now. That's GCN to 87222.
Advertising is simple. It starts with someone who has a need.
Mom!
And then gets more specific.
Mom, I want pizza.
Then we add urgency.
I want pizza tonight.
Before you know it, your GCN advertising message is reaching millions of listeners. Listeners who are definitely in need.
We want pizza!
You see, advertising on GCN is simple. Your message meets their need, and the result means new business for you. Tell us about your business. Then let our super creative department go to work to craft just the right message to feed those who have an urgent need.
We want pizza tonight!
GCN has the most affordable national radio advertising rates, period. And millions of people listen to GCN radio programs on over 1,000 AM and FM and XM stations and streaming audio live. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just shoot us an email, advertise@gcnlive.com.
Free Talk Live.
Is God against audio CDs or MP3s?
No, all that technology was stolen from the angels in the first place. You wouldn't have anything that wasn't here in 1947.
Why are you selling audio tapes on your website?
There's only one there, which is Angels Over Pendleton, shows
I see several
a video
audio
of
tapes
the angel that we communicated with.
No,
for
you can't
9
put
days.
video on it. You can't put video on an audio tape. I'm looking at your website here. There's a page where you've got audio tapes for sale for $6, $6.25 each.
And I bought both Nazareth and REO Speedwagon on audio tape.
On audio tape,
Yeah.
but that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting the word, if you're trying to get the word out about, what you believe is going to happen in the future, maybe you should put it on CD and at least move into the 1990s as opposed to, 1985.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. The phone lines are open. It is Mark with you.
And Nobody from electnobody.com.
Nobody, I got some good news for you.
Did I get elected?
No.
Okay.
CNBC.com. House Committee approves landmark bill legalizing marijuana at the federal level.
Yes, read that today. Actually saw the headline. I haven't read the story yet.
The House Judiciary Committee approved a bill Wednesday that legalizes marijuana on the federal level, removing it from Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but first I want to tell you about LibertyCon. LibertyCon's a unique liberty convention.
April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purposes of career advancement or business or internship opportunities. You hear from a list of incredible speakers such as John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder, who will speak on consensus capitalism. Vernon Smith, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics, will speak on alternative markets. Miriam Issa, who is a pop culture expert and political commentator with over 300 million YouTube videos. And Nissim Nicholas Taleb, who spent 21 years as a risk taker, quantitative trader before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. There is still more. Visit libertycon.com for more details and additional speakers and events. Use code FTL to save $10 on your registration. Why is it so little? It's because the price of the ticket is so cheap. Just go check it out there at libertycon.com. Student travel scholarships are available and discount rooms for everyone at the Marriott Marquis. Save with an early registration at libertycon.com. Use code FTL for the $10 discount. We intend to be there, libertycon.com. So,
two questions I got about that. First, the guy used to be a risk taker and now he's not. How do you stop?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I thought he was like some kind of investor, and maybe he made enough investments that it was time to stop.
Oh, okay. But, everything you do is a risk.
Oh, indeed.
And everything you don't do is a risk.
There's always risks.
Of course, that kind of answers my other question. My other thing was he gets paid for taking risks. I do that all the time for free.
The House Judiciary Committee approved a bill Wednesday that legalizes marijuana on the federal level, removing it from Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act. Please, ladies and gentlemen, understand, this is a House Judiciary Committee. This is not the House of Representatives, just a committee.
Yeah.
But they've made an approval, and it's a first step towards federal legalization.
Yeah.
Now,
if you want to know the rest of the steps, I highly recommend I'm Just a Bill by Schoolhouse Rock. Find it on YouTube. It's great, and it explains how this works. It just doesn't talk about the bribery.
Right, the graft, the corruption. It also doesn't mention the state-level marijuana laws. So if, for instance, you're in Utah, I'm just guessing here. I don't know what Utah's rules are, but I'm pretty sure they don't have recreational marijuana.
Nope. And as a matter of fact, I called up a company in Utah because it was a pharmaceutical company, and they donated $500,000 to keep marijuana illegal there. And interestingly enough, the same pharmaceutical company is the one that was just cited for bribing doctors to give oxycodone to their patients who don't need it.
Yeah, I think that marijuana, that pain management is something that marijuana has a pretty good track record with. Not every time, but the thing is that different drugs work well for different people. Some people can take opiates for a year, never get addicted to them, and just get right off. Other people, their life is ruined by these drugs.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And the people whose lives are ruined, to be fair to the pharmaceutical industry, the people whose lives are ruined, they've got something going on psychologically when they stop. It's the prescription that tells them where the out is, or that, these drugs can be an out. But my guess is that those people would have been in AA 30 years later because they were probably problem drinkers. They were probably already doing something to escape their inner turmoil, whatever it was. But, turning them on to oxycodone isn't going to help.
Well, I don't know what the particular issues are. I know some people can't even take opiates, that it binds them up, their digestive system, and they just can't take them.
Yeah.
So there needs to be alternatives for that. And, something besides Motrin that's going to eat up your liver over time. Marijuana, it's up to a person and their doctor what medicines they should be using to treat whatever it is that's going on with them. And if they just want to smoke pot for fun, Well, let's compare it to people who drink for fun. And we can see that the societal damage that is done by alcohol is significantly higher than the societal damage that's done by marijuana.
I think this is all brought on by the pizza lobby, because the pizzas are terrified of stoners. We will demolish pizzas. You know, we're good with everything else, but pizzas fear us.
How would pizzas get delivered without stoners is what I want to know.
Well, there would be a lot fewer pizza places.
So this is the first step in getting this bill approved. It was passed. It has a high chance of approval in the full House, where Democrats control the chamber. Who knows what's going to happen with the Republicans? And, you know, these things oftentimes have to bounce against the wall a couple of times before they go through. Mm-hmm. The federal government doesn't seem to be doing much in the places where marijuana is legal. As a matter of fact, the federal government is making its laws in a district where recreational marijuana is legal. The politicians are surrounded by people who can, if they wish, smoke marijuana legally. So,
and that doesn't stop them from wanting to deny that right to the rest of us.
And Joe Biden, just proving.
Now, of course, in D.C., though, you're still subject to the federal law. So technically, you could be arrested there.
Right. The feds aren't really doing anything in any of these places, though.
Right.
And Joe Biden, as though he does not want to be elected president, has come out against marijuana legalization because he believes it's a gateway drug.
Wow. Child molester and an idiot.
Well, I mean, it's a gateway drug in so much as it's illegal, and that's really it. So once you show a young person that this banned substance is not so bad, then they're much more likely to try the next banned substance. So I will agree that it is a gateway drug, but only because the government made it so.
So all they need to do is bring back prohibition, and then alcohol will be the gateway drug, because nearly everybody tries alcohol, a more dangerous drug, before they try marijuana, a less dangerous drug. And it just doesn't get counted because alcohol's legal.
And when I was a kid, cigarettes were always tried before those other two. You know,
sure.
It almost always goes cigarettes, or almost always went. I don't know what it's like now. You know, cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, then the rest of it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
however far that kid is programmed by his life to go, because most people never go beyond alcohol and marijuana. You know, 95% of them or 90% of them never do. And of those who do, very few of them really develop a problem.
Right.
With drugs. Most people do them a few times and then they're done with that.
Right. Most people will try marijuana a few times and then they'll not like the effects, and they won't use it again for many, 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 many years, or never again at all.
Yeah. Or they'll smoke weed while they're a teenager and then quit when they're 20 and just go on with their life because they have other things they have to do.
And I know, having a child, I am not comfortable with the notion that one day my son is going to try some kind of mind-altering substances. I don't like thinking about that. It upsets me. But I can also tell you that I can look at the facts surrounding prohibition, and whether it's marijuana or whatever it might be, and I can see that the consequences of the prohibition are worse than the consequences of the drug on a societal level. The best thing I can do is be the best parent that I can be and make myself a resource for my son, so that if he wants to talk about something like this, that he would come to me. And, as much as I'm uncomfortable with the idea, I'm even more uncomfortable that pimply-faced 16-year-olds are going to introduce the most important person in my life to dangerous substances. So I'd rather him talk to me about it first. 855-450-3733. How'd you talk to your kids about drugs and alcohol? I'd love to hear it. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,472, silver at $17.14, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,075. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, for the first time in U.S. history, a key congressional committee has approved a bill that would comprehensively put an end to the federal prohibition of marijuana. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee passed the Marijuana Opportunity, Reinvestment, and Expungement Act by a 24-10 vote, clearing the way for a full vote on the floor of the House of Representatives. GOP efforts to stall the bill with additional hearings largely failed, as two Republicans, Representatives Tom McClintock and Matt Gaetz, sided with Democrats, who argued that debate has gone on too long while the enforcement of cannabis prohibition continues to damage communities placed in the crosshairs of the failed war on drugs. The MORE Act was introduced by Chairman Jared Nadler, a Democrat from New York. It would lead to the removal of cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, ending prohibition on a national level, and allowing states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of the plant. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Prince Andrew says he's stepping away from public duties for the foreseeable future. After giving an interview to the BBC widely panned as a catastrophic mistake, as he fumbled through questions about his friendship with dead pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew says he has asked the Queen for permission to step back from public duties, and that he regrets his, quote, ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein, end quote. The Mind Unleashed reports that now that Prince Andrew is taking a step back from public duties, now that his former association with Epstein has become a major disruption to his family's work, it's becoming clear that the UK business community made clear it is no longer comfortable with the Duke of York. With the entirety of the royal family's resources at his disposal, it's surprising that Prince Andrew was not able to come up with a better excuse after one of Epstein's accusers said she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was still a minor. With federal agencies set to run out of money this week, House lawmakers on Wednesday passed a short-term funding bill that contained a nasty surprise. Activist Post reports that tucked into the end of the must-pass legislation, in a section titled Other Matters, is language reauthorizing 3 Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act authorities, currently set to expire December 15, 2019. The new expiration date would be March 15, 2020. One of the expiring authorities in question is Section 215 of the USA Patriot Act. Section 215 has become synonymous with the NSA's database of billions of telephone records, known as the Call Detail Records Program. In addition to authorizing ongoing collection of telephone records, the section's Business Records Authority allows the government to obtain a secret order from the FISA court requiring third parties to hand over any records if deemed relevant to an international terrorism, counterespionage, or foreign intelligence investigation. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Following this afternoon's arrest of Congress on the charge of over 23 million counts of manslaughter, our reporter spoke to Mark Westnick from Savannah, Georgia, just one of the many Americans that has lost a loved one due to the legislative branch's criminal negligence.
Because of Congress, my 23-year-old son died 2 years ago in Afghanistan. My nephew, he lost his leg in Iraq in 2006, and my brother died in Vietnam in 1969. Congress killed my family.
Defense attorneys for the now incarcerated 538-member group have dismissed the claims made by Westnick and other victims and released a statement saying their client has been, quote, a pillar of the national community for over 200 years and completely innocent of any and all wrongdoing. Keep checking theonion.com for more as this story develops.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
That's right, it is Free Talk Live, and we are kicking off the third hour of Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And nobody.
You are free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. That's what we do on Free Talk Live. And we were in the previous hour and the hour before that talking about schools in Illinois, government schools in Illinois, using a confinement system, rubber rooms basically for kids and
cages.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if you don't like that particular behavior, well, you can just stop funding the government schools, right? No, not really.
Well, you
take your house away.
can, but they'll take your house, and if you try and stop them, they'll kill you.
Right. And that's how it works. And ultimately, it is it's a little scary, this idea. Well, hear from the union leader. That's the big newspaper in New Hampshire, right out of Manch Vegas, as they like to call it around here, Manchester. Gilmanton. I don't know exactly where that is. Do you? There's lots of little towns in New Hampshire.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Gilmanton man sues not to pay school portion of tax bill as he has no kids enrolled.
Nice.
Laconia. Well, so there it is, up near Laconia. A Gilmanton man has filed suit against the town, claiming that he should not be forced to pay the school portion of his municipal tax bill because he has no children enrolled. Joseph S. Haas of 67 Mountain Road filed a complaint in Belknap County Superior Court seeking $12,952 from the town, claiming that on Halloween 2018, he gave the town's tax collector notice that there's no child or children attending the local government schools, asserting that the tax bill was an invoice for goods or services received. Haas has filed for an abatement with the selectmen and was denied. In addition to seeking the return of the education portion of his tax bill, Haas is also asking the court to issue an injunction barring the town treasurer from paying to SAU 79 the monies either legally and or unlawfully taken by the town, either illegally or unlawfully. In response to the suit, the town noted that, as Haas has in several cases before, Belknap Superior Court and the Board of Land and Tax Appeals asserted claims that the local and statewide education levy components of the town's tax bill are illegal and unconstitutional. According to the town, Haas makes no allegation that his property is disproportionately assessed or that he is unable to pay the tax bill, and as a result fails to state a tax abatement claim for which relief might be granted. Because in New Hampshire, if you can't pay your tax bill, then they'll give you some kind of poverty abatement. And if your house is assessed improperly, then you can have that looked at. But there's some towns will have kind of a little discount for being a veteran, and that's about it. In Florida, they had.
But you can't get conscientious objector status.
No, that's interesting. The conscientious objector is something that's reserved for, those that might participate in the military, but not when it comes to funding the state.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because you can be a conscientious objector from fighting a war, but not from waging a war.
Paying for it, yeah.
And you wage a war by paying the soldiers to go out and kill people.
Yes.
And I object. I'm not going to do that.
And the Quakers have several times, other war protesters, but Quakers generally are considered some of these. They'll withhold paying that portion of their taxes, or they'll voluntarily be below the poverty level in order to not have to pay taxes. A variety of systems that they have for not making enough money or not paying the government.
Yeah. Poverty and working off the books pretty much works for me. I had an unbroken record of no taxes since 1999, but last year I filed for the first time because the reason is because I had to take an on-the-books job. And so they already had my money. The question was, am I going to take it back?
Right.
And so for the same reasons that I try to avoid paying it, I took it back.
Yeah, I don't have a particular problem with that. I mean, some people don't want to give their, any more paperwork to the government, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
But in New Hampshire, for instance, they do have this child seclusion thing. They're probably not doing it nearly as often as they are in Illinois in the article we just read in the previous couple of hours. And if you didn't hear that, you can always go to archives.freetalklive.com. We have every episode there labeled, and, you can get it for free. Going back for 17 years, I think. Archives.freetalklive.com. Attorney Justin L. Passy of Donahue, Tucker, and Cinadella, Portsmouth, is a lawyer's office, asserted on behalf of the town that Gilmanton's tax assessment of the property is proportional and reasonable, and asked the court dismiss the case. Now, you were talking about conscientious objector status, Rich. What if you objected to this seclusion tactic that they use in schools? Shouldn't you be able to withhold your funding from a school that uses a school district that can use this?
I certainly think so. And for that matter, if you object to the police shooting people down like dogs in the street, you should be able to withhold that portion. there's a lot of things that we should be able to withhold for.
It's interesting that the government says that they fund the things that wouldn't be funded in their absence, but I mean, it seems like people want education and security. If they were worth it, wouldn't people pay for it?
Well, certainly, and it would be a lot cheaper because, to educate kids, all you need are teachers, a principal, and a janitor. That's if you're going to go the school route and do mass education.
Some schools,
that's what
the kids do
need.
the janitor's work.
Well, yeah, that's common in Japan and other places. But the thing is, anything on top of that, any local school district, well, that's a cost without a benefit. The State Department of Education, cost without a benefit. Federal Department of Education, cost without a benefit. They don't do anything to educate kids. They just tell people what to do. And most of the time, what they tell them is lunacy.
So according to this lawyer, in response to the complaint made by Haas, the guy who does not want to pay for school since he doesn't have any kids, his arguments bear a resemblance to several other complaints he's filed against the town of Gilmanton and the town of Boscawen in Superior Court, and which revolve around the core argument that the municipality's assessment of state and local education taxes are illegal or unconstitutional. To the town's knowledge, all of Haas's other cases have been dismissed. Haas, who is representing himself, has requested a jury trial and has asked the judge to allow other taxpayers to join in the case should they choose. I think that made it interesting. I really think it's wrong to charge people for other people's kids. I mean, what about my dog? He's got to eat. Why aren't you people paying for my dog's dog food?
Yeah.
And when we're talking about education now in the modern age, you can get an education online. Education is free currently.
Yeah.
And just about, if they wanted to, I mean, currently there are online schools. If they wanted to open these up to kids to learn online, they could. That would fill their mandate for educating the masses or whatever. But it wouldn't fill the traditional role of schools, which is middle-class welfare babysitting day prisons.
No.
And, I mean, my son for years and years didn't go to a school, and he read and did math and all those things. If he could read, should he thank a teacher? Well, no. He shouldn't. He should thank the baby reading kit that taught him to read when he was like 19 months old.
Wow. So did you teach him to read, or did you just sit him down with this stuff?
Well, there was the baby reading kit thing, and there were some flashcards, some videos. He didn't get to watch any videos but those videos at the time. He wasn't allowed to watch TV at all. And so he was excited about that. Any video he could watch. Free Talk Live.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntariist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going, and I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the balance of nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. Call in, talk about whatever you want. As well, we got a couple of people on the line here. I want to tell you real quick about Anarchapulco. Where do you want to be in late February? Well, in the freezing cold north of the United States or beautiful Acapulco, Mexico with Ron Paul, John McAfee, Sherry Peel Jackson, Doug Casey, Freeway Rick Ross, Del Bigtree, Jeff Berwick, Larkin Rose. The list goes on here. It just keeps on going. So many people at such a fun event. Anarchapulco, we've gone for, I think, the last 3 years. And I've been to, I think this will be the 7th one, which means that I would have been at 6 of them so far. Great event, and it's in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico, and it's from February the 13th through the 16th. They've got the resort there. They're talking about entrepreneurship, investment, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, personal relationship, everything that anybody who cares about liberty would care about. And just go use promo code FTL when you sign up at anarchapulco.com. I believe there's a few more days on their discounted ticket, so go there now, anarchapulco.com, and get your tickets. Let's go to Brody calling in from Utah. Here, let me figure this thing out. Brody, you're on Free Talk Live.
Great. Hey, yeah, the reason I'm calling, and I hope you forgive me if I explain this poorly, but is because I want to talk about what I think is the most important issue for liberty, and it kind of goes along the lines of what you guys were just talking about. And what that is I don't hear anybody in the liberty community really talking about this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys have. But what it is really just asking the government to dispute an issue with the government and ask them to have an independent private resolution service or use a private resolution service to resolve the dispute.
So if you have a problem with the government, try to get them to use some kind of arbitration service?
Correct. Because it's like this guy you were talking about who's having a problem with paying taxes for schools. Well, he's asking the government. It goes along the lines of the rule of law states that you have to have an independent tribunal or independent judge.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And so you can't have rule of law if one of the parties in a dispute gets to decide the dispute. Which is what happens with all governments is, if they send me a property tax bill. If I go and dispute it, well, they say, well, yeah, you can use our system. So we need to be explaining to them, oh, okay, great. If I sent you a bill, would you come to my system? Would you let me be the judge? Because that's ridiculous. That's idiotic. That's stupid. And I don't hear anybody, I don't hear the Libertarian Party talking about this, trying to fight for our right to have an actual independent dispute resolution service to resolve the dispute between us and the government if we don't believe the government has the right to make and enforce laws.
Well, the argument has definitely been made by Keene people in court.
Keene, New Hampshire.
That the people, activists who have worked with us, that basically the process was rigged because the judge and the prosecution were working for the same people.
Yeah, they get their paychecks from the same folks.
And unfortunately, we haven't made much headway with that argument.
Strangely, the people that would let the case go off to arbitration don't want to let go of the power that they have either.
Yeah, so the unfortunate thing is the only way to make them do that would be to change statute, which means, again, you can only change that by going and asking the government. So I like the idea of having completely independent arbiters, though. I just think we're going to have to burn down the government that we have before that ever has a chance of happening. But it's certainly a nice vision not to have the people who are sworn to control your life also controlling who wins disputes about how they control your life.
Right. The thing is, and I understand people have been making those arguments, but I think what people need to do is not necessarily make the argument, but just even ask them, hey, I have a dispute with your organization. That's not fair that your organization gets to decide the dispute, I don't think. So I think, what about having a private arbiter resolve our dispute? I just don't hear anybody actually asking for a private arbiter. Is all
I would feel a little ridiculous ringing up the ladies at the town hall and saying, ring, ring. Who would I talk to about having an independent arbiter settle my dispute with the town?
Sure.
And,
see,
I would say the thing
they're not the government; they're just
do,
the bureaucrat.
If you could find an arbiter who is willing to take on the job,
I'll do it.
What I would do is have them handle it the same way they would handle any other arbitration, where the parties were not regularly doing business with each other, which is say, okay, well, I feel I have a claim against this person. Could you reach out to them and see if you can get them to come to arbitration with me?
Who would they even send?
I would say I would make my claim against the chief executive because the buck stops with him.
In most towns in New Hampshire, there isn't a chief executive. They have a selectman board of 3 or 5 selectmen, and so
that's
two have to show up for a quorum.
That's the legislature. The executive power in Keene, for example, is split between the mayor, who gets very little of it, and the town manager, the city manager, who gets the lion's share of the authority. I ran for mayor, so I actually read the city charter because I figured I should know what it said. So it would be the city manager or a subordinate manager, like you might try to arbitrate against the guy who ran the jail or the chief of police. But my guess is no matter who your arbitrator was, that person whoever you brought it against, that person would just say, well, they don't have any authority, so I'm not going to do that.
So, Brody, do you have any insight about implementation? I agree with your point that the government deciding whether or not the government is liable is a really terrible system. How would we implement this idea?
Well, and that's what I was kind of pointing or getting out of the first as well, is that I don't hear a whole lot about it in the liberty community. And so I think the main thing is get the word out, because obviously if it's just myself or just yourself, they're going to ignore you. I mean, my plan I'm kind of thinking of is start actually going to my direct neighbors and talking to them about it. Maybe call into the city and record a conversation and get it on TikTok. See if I can get people excited about it. But the word's got to get out.
Well, hey, if you do any of that, please come to our Discord server and post about it so we find out about it, because I will definitely promote what you're doing.
Thanks for the call. Free Talk Live.
Thank you.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well,
I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And nobody.
855-450-3733. Pope Nobody the First. ElectNobody.com. What are you running for now? What mischief are you up to?
Running for New Hampshire governor. And my promises include a pardon for every victimless crime in New Hampshire history.
Wow, there you go. I wonder if you could do that in one statement, or you just have to spend all day signing pardons.
If I die of writer's cramp, I die.
Are you going to be at Forkfest this year?
I'm going to be at Forkfest. Oh, absolutely.
What do you like the best about Forkfest?
I like the thing I like about Forkfest is it is so relaxing because there is no there isn't any authority there to irritate me. Not even pork rangers.
You're talking about the Porcupine Freedom Festival, of which Forkfest is a fork of.
Indeed.
It's a fork of Porkfest.
Indeed. They told us to go fork ourselves, so we did.
And indeed we have.
Not true. We still go to Porkfest.
The beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. So check out forkfest.party. It's a great event, just a camping festival. Nobody's in charge, but you're in charge of you. And some people throw parties, some people serve food, people do all kinds of things.
It's like anarchy.
Well, you decide. It's forkfest.party. Let's go to Mike calling in from Washington. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, you guys. You know, this is turning out, I'm really glad that I listened to this show. Now, I'm an older guy, so it's
join
kind
the
of
club
for me. I wanted to talk about some numbers of, I would say, BS numbers I heard on the news today about the cost of an individual homeless person.
The cost of a homeless person?
I didn't even know you could buy them.
It was a city that said this guy sleeping on our sidewalk costs us $30,000 a year. That's what we invest in him.
Like how?
Who?
Well, I'm on work-related Social Security disability. My income is $1,375 a month, less than $15,000 a year. I pay almost $700 for rent. I have none of that food stampy stuff. I do have free medical from the VA. How could that number be possible when I'm actually paying my own way for less than $15,000 a year for one person? And they're saying that they're letting somebody sleep on the sidewalk. And so, in other words, is it bureaucracy that because I didn't go to high school, but is not just the cost of their own bureaucracy and everybody trying to do this, and this to the tune of taxpayers spending $30,000, or am I just stupid because I didn't go to high school?
Well, I'd like to know what they include in that number. What are the line items? I mean, are they counting?
Well, it's not lodging. It's not lodging.
Well, yeah, clearly.
Right.
Is it the cost of the sidewalk he's sleeping on?
The food literally does come from trash cans and churches, bless their hearts, for feeding people. I came from Aberdeen, Washington. It's a horrible situation. But that mayor from that town has lost his little reign of 4 years. He's 23 years old. Anyway, he's gone. So the new guy, we'll see what happens. But they just invested over $500,000 in the homeless situation, and they're camped out in front of City Hall accosting people. But anyway, I heard that number, and
homelessness seems to be a much bigger problem on the West Coast than it is on the East Coast.
I don't know why, because it sucks for the weather here. Why would you want to? I mean, it's raining for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would presume the reason is that there's got to be. So we have a very nice soup kitchen in Keene, New Hampshire, and we have a homeless issue.
Is it a no barrier soup kitchen?
I don't know how one labels soup kitchens.
No barrier means it doesn't matter if you're strung out on heroin, you get a meal.
As I understand it, that's
I'm
the case.
pretty sure they will feed anybody unless that person becomes a problem there.
Yeah.
People have been banned for getting in fights there, I know.
But otherwise,
those are real people. Those are real people that do that feed like that. Those are awesome people.
And they rock. They've got that, but every surrounding town doesn't have a homeless problem. And towns that surround those towns don't really have homeless problems. The homeless people,
right, because the services are there,
go where the services are. And my presumption would be that the services on the West Coast are better than the services on the East Coast, so it attracts these folks that want these services. And as long as some people, different
migrants are going to make a difference there too, because California is a sanctuary state, Oregon is a sanctuary state, Washington is a sanctuary state, as I understand it, or at least their West Coast cities are sanctuaries. So that's going to, I think there are going to be a lot of people who are here illegally who aren't going to want to leave that set of states.
When I was in Portland, they had tents on the sidewalk, and to get them out in front of the post office, they had to put an eviction notice up for like 14 days or something on a tent. I can assure you that.
Did you live in Portland?
No, I was just there visiting.
I love Portland.
Portland's.
I'm gonna let somebody else get on here. But hey, how long do you think I could get to Pork Fest in a manual wheelchair from Gold Bar, Washington?
Well, you could, but you better start now.
How much time do I have? How much time do I have?
Get a GoPro, document your journey. We had a guy ride a bike here from Portland, but we haven't.
He walked. The guy
the guy
rode the
walked
bike came from Florida.
Portland. Okay, where'd the guy ride the bike from?
Florida.
A fishing pole on my wheelchair with a can, and I'll bet somebody would put. I just think it would be just neat. I only have so many years, and I'd like to go. But anyway, hey, you guys, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for calling.
Check out ForkFest.party. As I understand it, they do have.
I'm going there as soon as you're done. I'm going to go. That's where I'm headed.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
That's ForkFest.party.
Yeah, we have. They do ride shares, and people are coming from all over. So there may very well be somebody who's coming from there that doesn't mind sharing a ride for some gas. So
Yeah, definitely. Does ForkFest.party have a link to the Telegram group?
Yes. PorkFest.party is basically a link to everything. So there is a Telegram, which is a messaging app for ForkFest, excuse me, and you can get involved there. So this gentleman who decided that he would file a lawsuit because he doesn't have kids in school and doesn't want to pay the school portion, and I think that's a reasonable complaint. Obviously, the towns, the New Hampshire town that his complaint is filed against does not agree. But he's quite a character. He is representing himself in this situation. He's requested a jury trial. He's asked the judge to allow other taxpayers to join in the case should they choose to. And I think all that's fine. In 2017, he made an unsuccessful bid for town treasurer, vowing to comply with state law, requiring collateral in coin and to dispense with checks as a form of payment. He's no stranger to challenging legal process in New Hampshire. The Telegraph, this newspaper, reported that Haas was accused of threatening future U.S. Senator Kelly Ayotte and her family in 2004 when she was a attorney general. Haas says he approached Ayotte about the speedy trial rule on behalf of a friend, and he said she rebuffed him and then he made the analogy of the Pharaoh facing plagues in the Bible's book of Exodus for not letting Moses and his chosen people go.
Did she ever actually prosecute him for threatening a plague of frogs? Because, doesn't it have to be within the reasonable expected ability of a human for it to be a threat?
I can tell you that a listener of this show said he bought a gun and he was going to use it to shoot me in the back of the head, and the cops wanted nothing to do with the case.
Well, that was pretty vague what he said.
Yeah, right, that's so vague. It's not like he's taken steps.
Yeah.
The remark was construed as a threat, he said, and he was arrested, but then released on bail. Of course, you're released on bail. That's what bail's for. That doesn't say anything about the disposition of the case. Whatever. 3 years later, the Telegraph reported Haas was convicted of criminally threatening city councilor Terry Dudley.
Is that really how they reported the end of the case? Is he was released on bail?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
The charges must have been dropped then, because if he was neither acquitted nor convicted. Wow.
He used the expression "wise up or die" and invoked an image of Dante's Inferno in regards to Dudley, the guy that felt threatened to the city councilor who opposed one of his initiatives. So, he's expressive. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have two convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. It's the final segment. We might be able to squeeze your call in at 855-450-3733. Mark with you.
And nobody.
That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. Got a story here from Gwinnett County, Georgia. A man on his way to a job interview said officers used a taser on him 3 times for jaywalking. Police say he refused verbal commands and physically resisted. So, this is an issue out there in the world. And it's one that I don't have to deal with. I jaywalk all the time. I look both ways. If there's not a car coming, zip, I go across the street. I do it in cities across America, and I try not to be. I try very hard not to be a hindrance to those people. I yield the right of way to the people that have the right of way, from by my estimation, and I just get across the street. But there's this situation in the South that is claimed that black men have a heck of a time crossing streets without using the signals. And anybody who's had to cross a street knows that walking down 150 feet to the light, then crossing, waiting for the light, and then crossing there, and then coming back the 150 feet, it's a lot harder than just zipping across the road when things are easier to do. Now, I've never been a black man, and I've never lived in Gwinnett County, Georgia, so I don't know what happened here.
But if I was the one, I wouldn't do the other. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, this all began in March when the officers gave John Efford a jaywalking citation on Holcomb Bridge Road in Gwinnett County. Efford said that a couple of minutes later, the same officers approached him again, saying that he jaywalked again. He said that's when they refused to answer his question and began tasing him. I was terrified, said Efford. He was charged with 2 counts of obstruction and improper crossing of a roadway. Police said that sent Jones a use of force report that indicated that the level of force used was within its policy. It said that Efford refused to follow verbal commands and physically resisted. An officer's body cam video recorded the incident. Hands behind your back now, cuff him. You're going to get tased again, the officer is heard in a video. So this guy's on his way to a job application or job interview, doesn't want to be hindered. I'm presuming the cams show what the police say because the
although frequently they don't. That's not really a safe assumption.
Well, I don't know. And
right.
The idea of going after somebody at jaywalking, I mean, what's the harm and where's the victim?
Yeah.
Is what I want to know. If I'm walking down the side of the road and the police want to, be a problem, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to talk to you right now, and you can do that. You don't have to talk to a police officer simply because they want to talk to you. You can just keep on walking. But if they decide to say you committed a crime, you're walking alongside the road, jaywalking's an easy thing to claim.
Right.
And in my case, it would probably be true. I've jaywalked probably, most weeks of my adult life.
And it is a tried and true Southern law enforcement technique. They, for example, during the civil rights era, they started charging the activists with spitting on the sidewalk, which was a law on the books, but it never got enforced except for against civil rights activists. And eventually there were cases for what's called misuse of process, because they determined that this was being used just to harass civil rights demonstrators.
Right. I mean, and the civil rights movement actually did use jaywalking. They walk in the middle of the road from one location to the other to sort of, make their plight known, whatever the case is. I don't think, personally, I don't like the sort of activism that impedes traffic. So I wouldn't participate in that. But jaywalking, like, when I say jaywalking, I mean not going to a light, not waiting for a little command from a little light to cross the street, and then taking the long way. Now, when I'm here in Keene, New Hampshire, I know how these lights work. I know where they are, and I get the timing. I can look at it, and I can see what's going on. I know how a traffic light works. I know when cars are stopped. I can figure this out. I presume that the crosswalk buttons are for mothers with baby buggies and the geriatric. If you can't get across a street by looking at the lights and seeing which cars are stopped, you're a mental invalid. And I'm not saying there aren't mental invalids. By all means, let's have these little lights for them. But, I mean, sometimes I park across the street from a restaurant, because that's how parking works here in Keene, New Hampshire.
Sure.
And I'm not going to go all the way down to the light 200 feet away to cross so that I can then walk another 200 feet back to the restaurant, when I could just wait until no cars are doing anything and walk across the street. No crosswalk needed. I don't need to stand in a crosswalk like a sanctimonious a-hole and demand that every car stop for my forward progress. To me, it's just it's bad behavior. But here in New Hampshire, it's the whole drive with courtesy, and there's this big fine for not yielding to somebody in a crosswalk and all that stuff. And these pedestrians get so sanctimonious about it. I'm like, just go. I can get past the car. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, the drivers irritate me too, because I'll be standing on the side of the road and they'll stop their car.
Right.
And it's like, just go.
Well, that's got to be fear-based, right? You're somewhere near the crosswalk, so they're like there trying to wave you across. I don't want to cross the street. I'm just standing here. I'll cross the street when I'm ready. Thank you.
It's social pressure-based, but we got a caller?
Yeah, we got a caller. Let's go to Joe calling in from Florida. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live. Joe,
hey guys, how we doing?
All's well. What's on your mind?
Oh, I just want to thank you guys for your format. I'm a 51-year-old radio talk show junkie, and I've listened to everybody and everything over 20 years, and I've finally found a format that I think free-thinking, educated people can enjoy, and that's your guys' show.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank you.
And so did you find us on the radio, or how are you listening?
I found you guys late night on the radio here in Vero Beach, Florida. And after raising my kids and trying to figure out what I really wanted to do with my free time, I decided I want to become a libertarian.
Groovy. Well, the world needs more of those.
I'll tell you this. The guy who used to manage the station group down there in Vero, Big Jim Davis, the voice of WOR-FM in New York City, is the one that gave Ian and I our break on radio. He's the one who put the show on the air for the first time on a little 3,500 watt FM in Sarasota. Actually, it was licensed to Rotunda, Florida, and sometimes on a good night it would make it into Sarasota. And the first night was a Sunday night from 7 to 11, which, as you know, is Siberia. And we were wall-to-wall calls on a local station, and they were delighted to have us. And shortly, we were weeknights. So, Vero holds a special place in my heart.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, but you guys keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate it. I'm out here preaching the message. I'm, in college I was a Democrat. After I had kids, I was a Republican. And now that I've raised my kids, I'm a libertarian. So,
well, one of the things we've done is many of us have, many of the libertarians, and I'm not saying you want to do this, I'm just telling people who might consider it, is that we picked up and moved to New Hampshire. There are, at this point, 5,000 Free State Project members and many others that have moved for the Great Freedom Migration for a variety of reasons. The idea is just to concentrate as many libertarians in one state and see what that does. So maybe you'll come up to Fork Fest and hang out with us.
Reinforce us, bro. We need your kind up here.
Okay. All right. I'm for the while, I'm going to hold the fort down here and try to sell off my property when it goes up, and then I'll make a move.
Thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate it.
We'll keep a light on for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea with New Hampshire. We don't know how it's going to work out having all these libertarians here, but at least we have somebody to talk to.
Oh, yeah. So nice to once in a while interact with somebody who doesn't think I'm crazy.
Well, we still think that.
Well, doesn't think I'm wrong.
Thank you, Pope Nobody. As if to punctuate it. Check us out at freetalklive.com. Sign up for our newsletter. It's right there on the front page, freetalklive.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news.